Greetings, friends. I'm AK,
And I'm Laura,
and
and
we
we
are
are
the
the
Chainsaw
Chainsaw
Girls.
Girls. On today's episode, now, friends, I'm sure if you're watching on YouTube, you can see that we are not in the same place.
Sure aren't. We're doing things a little bit differently today, not because we want to, but because we are always going to get it done.
That's right. If there's one thing about us, we're going to get it done. Unfortunately, I hit some very bad weather on my way to AK's house. And so I had to turn around and drive back to Buffalo. So we're recording from two separate places today. It's very weird, but we're
It
getting it done.
is. Yeah, our
Mhm.
first remote episode. We're doing our best. So if there are any kinks along the way, no kink shame. All right.
Thank you. Yes, exactly. That is right. Shall I read? Oh, we didn't even announce what the movie was. I was
Oh
about
my
to hop
gosh.
right into IMDb.
We didn't. We are covering one of the most influential movies in film history, definitely the most influential film in the zombie genre. We are covering 1968's Night of the Living Dead.
Ooh, ooh. I'm so excited, dude. I'm wearing my Night of the Living Dead shirt. I got my Night of the Living Dead poster behind me.
I love it, and I'm just wearing a robe because it's winter in Michigan and I'm cold
Mhm.
and I want to be cozy. So here I am. I'm a robe
You're
guy.
allowed. You are allowed to wear that robe. Be
Thank
comfortable,
you.
AK.
Thank you.
Sh- shall I read IMDb?
Yes.
Okie dokie, here we go. A ragtag group of Pennsylvanians barricade themselves in an old farmhouse to remain safe from a horde of flesh eating ghouls that are ravaging the northeast of the United States. Wow, IMDb, you got it.
Nailed it. So as
Nailed
of the
it.
time of this recording anyway, you can find this movie on Netflix. It's pretty much free everywhere. This movie went into the public domain very quickly, almost immediately upon release, and we'll talk about more of that in the episode.
Yes, and this movie was directed by the amazing George A. Romero.
Isn't it crazy to think he was 28 when he directed this movie?
Dude, it's
Like
wild. Even the
28
whole
sounds like a child to me.
Oh, 100%, 100%. But the whole way this movie came together and the group of people that brought it to life, honestly, it's pretty magical. And the fact that it even came to life, period, is pretty awesome.
Yeah. This
Mhm.
movie holds so much significance culturally, and it is in the MoMA. It's in the Museum of Modern Arts. It was put in 1999. Huge honor, very
Mhm.
prestigious film collection. You know what else is in the MoMA? You know what other movie is in the MoMA?
Oh, AK, do I fucking ever?
Please tell them,
Basket case.
which we also covered. I laughed so hard when I realized that. I'm like looking at this definition of what it means to go into the MoMA and how it's so culturally significant and all this. And then I'm like, oh yeah, basket case. I just picture Belial like, "Blah."
I know, right? But listen, basket case is very important to the culture. Okay, it is.
100%. 100.
I love it. Okay, should we hop right into the episode and then kind of like talk about things as we go along?
Yeah, let's do it. Did we talk about the budget yet?
We have not talked about the budget yet. No.
So I know the budget for this was $114,000, which even in the 60s was considered low budget. You already mentioned that this was like a labor of love. They hired a lot of locals to fill roles in this movie instead of hiring a bunch of extras because Romero just didn't have the budget for it. So we see a lot of that throughout this film, and we'll talk about it when we get to it.
No, yeah, 100%. And that budget that you talked about, 114,000, that's definitely not what they started with, but it's what they eventually grew to. Apparently, they all contributed $600 at first. And that was just so they got $6,000 together, and that was just to get the movie sort of going, but then they realized pretty quickly that they needed a bigger budget. But what I think is so fascinating about this film, what I think is so cool is a lot of the people, like you said, that they hired were not just investors, but they were some of the actors. They were some of them was like, for example, let me say that again. Russell W. Striner was one of the producers, and he also played Johnny. And Carl Hardman did makeup, sound, he produced, and he was also Harry Cooper. So I
So
thought that was kind of
everyone just
interesting.
wore, yeah, they had so many hats. So many hats where, oh my gosh, there's an interesting hat in this movie actually, literally that we're going to talk to when we get to it.
Oh, hell yes. I love it.
So let's hop into it.
Let's do it.
So this movie is in black and white, I will mention. I know that's probably obvious to a lot of you, but I know we have some horror newbies that listen to us, so I want to mention the obvious as well. This whole movie's in black and white. We start out on a winding dirt road. We're watching this car drive through the town while the credits roll and this eerie music is playing. I, for some reason, felt the urge to look up what car this was because I feel like this car and this scene, the whole opening scene is so iconic. This is a
Mm-hmm.
1967 Pontiac Le Mans two-door coupe, just in case
Ooh,
anyone was
I love
wondering.
it. I love that you looked it up. Yes.
So the car takes a sharp turn and starts going uphill. We see a sign that says cemetery entrance. Okay, so now we're in the cemetery. In the car, we meet Johnny and Barbara. When you're first
Mm-hmm.
watching this, I know I watched this so long ago, but I haven't seen it in many years. So even when
Mm-hmm.
I was rewatching, like it's been a minute, there was a moment where I was like, are they husband and wife? But they're brother and sister.
Oh, brother and sister. Yeah,
Yeah.
because they're visiting their dad.
Right. They're visiting their father's grave. Johnny is
Mhm.
complaining the whole time. He's just being a little shit. He's
Mhm.
complaining about how it's too far. They're driving like 200 miles, he says, to go visit their father, and their mother won't come with them, it sounds like.
Mhm. And I think they go annually.
Yeah. The radio's making
It's
a
like
weird noise. There's a
it's a
man that,
big commitment. That's a
oh, it
huge
is.
commitment to like I mean, I visit my dad sometimes, but like not every year.
And is it 6 hours away?
No. No, it's
Yeah,
like 2 and
that is a very,
I never bring anything either. Isn't that terrible? But like I
I
don't
don't
know.
think
What is he going
so.
to do? What's he going to do with it, you know?
Exactly. I think that that's more for the person bringing the thing. That's more for the living. Similar to how they talk about funerals. A lot of times that's for the living, not so much for the dead, right?
Yeah, for sure. Mhm.
So the radio's making a weird noise when they're about to get out of the car, and there's a man that says, we're back after an interruption. There's some weird technical problem, but Johnny just turns it off. He doesn't
Mhm.
care what's happening. They go to find the grave, and Barbara is already over Johnny's shit. Like he's complaining too much. He's putting the wreath on the grave, and he's complaining about how they have to spend so much money on a new one every year. Once again, like you don't have to bring something technically, but I think it's like a formality.
For sure, yeah.
So we hear that a storm is starting. And in the distance, Johnny sees a man sauntering around the cemetery. It looks like he
Okay,
could just be,
I don't know why I describe the zombies as shuffling. Like they always look
yeah,
like they're just shuffling.
yeah, shuffling, limping. I wrote sauntering. I don't know why.
Yeah,
Because,
sauntering. But he kind of runs too. Like that's the thing about these zombies. Like some of them do haul ass a bit.
yes, and they're strategic, which I was not expecting in this movie.
Yes, definitely.
But in
Hmm.
the distance, you can't really see him. It's not clear. He could just be slowly walking. He could be limping,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So Johnny is giving Barbara shit about kneeling and praying at the grave, which like let her grieve how she wants to. What is the
Yeah.
problem? But they're
Right,
they're also
right.
siblings, so sibling
Yeah.
rivalry, I guess. Johnny starts to tease Barbara about how she used to get scared as a child. And this is where he delivers the iconic line, "They're coming to get you, Barbara," which is repeated in so many films that are paying homage or homage. What's the word I'm
Homage?
looking for?
I think homage.
Either way, they're paying tribute to this film.
Yes, you know I say that to myself like every day. It plays in my head. It's one of the lines that runs in my head
They're coming to
every
get you,
day.
Barbara?
Yeah, mhm. Yeah, like, you know how, like, everybody well, I don't know if everybody does, but, like, I have, like, movie quotes that are just, like, dancing around in my brain all the time, and that's one of them.
Yeah, yeah, there are movies that I could just speak in that movie's entire dialogue. Same thing
Yeah.
with TV shows.
Yeah, exactly. No, 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 same, same. One thing I was gonna say too, just about this whole scene where he's kind of, like, messing with her a little bit, like, it's a little meta. Do you know what I mean? Like, to me, it seems like a little bit meta that he's, like, kinda talking about, like, scaring her and,
Mhm.
like, scary movies.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's I don't
Yeah.
know, I just thought that was, like, a little bit meta.
Yeah, I can totally see that. And he goes, "Here one comes now," talking about that man that's in the distance, and Johnny runs away, so he's fucking with her, he's leaving her alone with this strange man, just trying to scare her, and
Yeah.
then that man actually grabs Barbara. Now Johnny does come back to save her. Johnny
Oh,
and this man, go
they,
ahead.
like they, like, roughhouse.
I
Like, it's
wrote,
not even, like it actually looks like a believable fight because it's so unpretty.
yes, and like you mentioned, Johnny's played by one of the investors, right?
He's an actor, but he also chipped in. Yeah, he's a
Okay.
producer.
So I wrote that Johnny and this man start tussling. I feel like that's the best way I could describe it. They are tussling.
Dude, tussling, that is exactly the word. They're
Like,
tussling, and it's like, that's how people fight. Like, it never looks as cool as, like, a movie. It's always, like, really ugly looking, you know?
yes, they're grabbing each other, especially if you're not, like, a trained fighter. It's not like they're,
Yeah.
collar and elbow tie up, you know? Like, they're grabbing each other and just, like, pulling at each other. They don't neither of them really know what to do, it seems.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so this man knocks Johnny down, and Johnny hits his head on the tombstone. As far as we know, he's out.
Oh,
Could
he's
be
dead, though.
unconscious. He's definitely dead.
Dead. Dead, dead. I think he broke his neck.
Ugh. I assumed he just blunt force trauma, he was dead. But at this point, you're like, okay, maybe he could still be alive. So Barb runs away. Of course, she falls. It's a whole chase scene. The zombie does start running here. Her shoes fall off. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
She does get to the car,
He's
and this,
aggressive, too. Can
oh
we
my
just say,
God.
like, he is fucking aggressive. Like, he's coming at her. He's scary. It's not like The Walking Dead. Like, he looks like he's on a mission.
Yeah, he is slamming out the windows. He's trying to open the doors. So this is where I was like, "Oh, they're strategic. They know what they're doing." He grabs a brick and breaks the window. So I
Mhm.
wouldn't think of a zombie doing something like that. You think of them just being mindless and just coming forward, right? But they know they have some type of I was going to say humanity, but it's not humanity. They have some knowledge of what they're doing.
Like, instincts. There's some cognition there somewhere.
Yes, there you go, I
Yeah.
like that, cognition, yeah. I started
Nice.
describing what the man looked like, and I wrote, "The man is gray." They're all fucking gray, it's a black and white movie, but I just know he's more pale than the other people, I just know it in my heart, but what I was trying to describe is that he doesn't look like what you probably picture a zombie looking like in a modern movie, so he just
Yeah.
kinda looks like a man who maybe has, like, dark circles, you
He
know?
just looks like a man, a zombie. Just looks
He
like a
looks like a
man.
man. Horrifying.
Looks like a man with
Period.
dark circles. Zombie.
A
Done.
man coming for you, grabbing you. Horrifying. Alone. But he's wearing a suit. So, knowing what we know now, it probably, came straight from a casket or, like, a recently deceased
Oh,
person.
why in my brain while you were saying I was finishing the sentence and I was going, "The Office."
He obviously just came from the office with his nice tuxedo on. I don't think it's a
No,
tuxedo, it's just a suit.
dude, for real. In my mind, it was so confident. I was like, from
The
The Office.
Office, yes. Because we'll see in a little bit, a lot of them are in suits, so I'm assuming they're coming out of the cemetery or the office, we don't know.
Like, well, he was probably down on Wall Street.
But he does
Oh
look
my
like an
god.
older gentleman, maybe a little crazed in the eyes, and just their mannerisms are how you can tell that they're probably undead. Though later we'll see also some of them have, like, scratches on their faces, but nothing
Yeah.
too gory or as far as how they look.
Yeah.
So Barb, it looks like she puts the car in neutral. Oh yeah, because she doesn't have the keys. We do find that out
Mhm.
later. So she puts the car in neutral and starts rolling down this hill. She ends up crashing into a tree, which, like, why couldn't you just steer the car, Barbara?
Okay,
But
that's what
okay.
I was like, I couldn't understand. I was like, "Why did she just drive into that tree?" Like, why
Why
didn't she
didn't you
just turn the
just
wheel?
turn the wheel? I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
she didn't know how to drive. It was 1968. I'm not really sure.
true. No,
But
that's true.
we'll find out also that Barbara is a little incompetent at times. So that is already being foreshadowed here.
Yeah.
So this whole scene here is mostly music and no dialogue or even screaming. So we just see Barbara running down this dirt road when she gets out of the car, no shoes on. I know that shit hurt. And the man is chasing her.
Yeah, and can we just talk about how the music is like I feel like I say this all the time, but it feels like its own character. Like the music adds so much to this film. Like it causes you to feel so much tension and like some bad shit is about to happen. I love
Yeah,
the music. It's fucking awesome.
same. Yeah, even when the movie starts and you're like, oh, I'm already scared, even though we're just watching this car drive down the road.
Yeah, exactly. You just know. You know this like there's dread.
Yes, dread. There we go. So
Yeah.
Barb sees a house in the distance and she runs for it. The back was just open, so she just waltzes on in. We've talked about this before about people just walking into houses. I understand. Yes, she's trying to get away from this man, but also, what did you just walk into, right?
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely because it's the zombie apocalypse. It's passable, but she doesn't even
Sure.
know yet, right? Like we don't
Right.
we don't really know anything yet.
This could be that man's house. What if he came from that
Yeah.
house and you walk into his
Oh,
lair? But I mean, she
dude,
didn't really
not the
have many.
layer.
I know, seriously. She didn't have many options, so I'll give her a pass.
Sure.
So she grabs a knife from the kitchen. Some things are knocked over in the living room, and she hasn't even seen anyone home yet. So she doesn't know what's going on. She's quietly searching around the house. They end up doing a jump scare with this loud music on like the deer heads and the boar heads on the wall, which I feel
Mhm.
like that would be a legit jump scare for you.
Oh, ew. Why do people have to do that? Like, I don't know. No. Just
I mean,
fucking no.
honestly, I'm also like, I remember my dad had a deer head on the wall when we were a kid, and I just was always creeped out by that. But imagine, I feel
Yeah,
like for you,
I understand. I mean, it's tradition, right? Like I understand it. Like it's like someone's tradition is like, but I just don't get it. I think it's fucking weird, but you know.
oh, for sure, even as a child, and like, my dad would have like the pictures. They would take pictures of the deer hanging up and like gutted, and I've always been like,
Yeah.
why,
Like
why?
I'm good. I don't need to see it. You know what I
Oh
mean?
my
Although I
gosh.
did have a taxidermy fox when I was a kid and I used to dress it up. So
That's cute though. I mean, whatever. You
yeah.
didn't taxidermy it. It's just already there, and you're gonna dress it up.
No, that's true. I was not the one that that taxidermied the fox.
I don't know. You were a rebellious kid. I could see you doing some weird shit when you're a kid.
No, that's true. That's actually a very fair point.
But Barb looks out the window here. She now sees a bunch of men in suits. They're all waddling toward the house. Here I used
Not men in
waddling.
suits. Not
Yeah.
the men coming from the office.
Not businessmen. So she goes
No.
upstairs and we see a close up of a dead person's skeletal face.
Yuck.
So this was very gory for the time. And I was
Mhm.
very jarred by this because it goes from Barbara straight to the face. And I didn't even know what I was looking at or like where it was. We'll find out it's the woman, presumably who lived there in the hallway once you get up the stairs. But at first, it's so close. I was like, I don't even know where that was. And so Barb is so scared. She runs down the stairs and outside. Even though she just saw all those men outside, that's how scared she was, which I feel like that is a visceral reaction to something like that.
Yeah, I think, Barbara kind of drives me crazy at some points, but I think her reaction is very kind of real, like she goes
Yes.
into shock a lot. Like,
Yes, that's true. She does go into shock. Yeah, I'll give
yeah,
her a
she
pass on
drives me
that.
crazy. She drives me insane
Same.
at times,
Yeah,
honestly, but at the same time, I don't know what it's like to be in a zombie apocalypse, I think
true.
I would handle myself differently, but who knows?
Yes, I would love to think that I would handle it differently, but, Barb didn't have previous zombie movies to watch to know the rules of the game, right? So, she doesn't know what's
Yeah,
happening.
that's right.
So she goes outside, there are bright headlights shining on her, and then she sees a man! Like, that alone. I'm like, "A man!"
Not a man.
But he grabs her, pushes her inside, terrifying. However, this is Ben.
It's
We meet
Ben. Can you see my
our
shirt?
yes, the
I
main
got Ben.
character. He is the main
I
character.
love Ben. I stan. I fucking love Ben.
Yes, I have a lot to say about Ben, but we will get there. So Ben is asking her questions, and Barb cannot respond. She is in shock here. She just doesn't answer at all. So Ben is trying the phone. He just got into this house. He's trying the phone. It doesn't work. He goes and sees the body upstairs. He is upset, but he just kind of takes a minute. And then
Yeah.
he's like, all right, we got to get out of here. Let's see if we can find
Yeah.
some food. He's going around the house trying to find supplies.
Yeah, and Barbara's walking around like she just looks scared as fuck. Like I don't know how else to describe it. Like she almost looks like she's not seeing things. You know what I mean? Like she's almost just walking around in a fog.
Yes, a fog, like disjointed. Like she's like,
Mhm.
oh, almost like that.
Catatonic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
catatonic at times. There's a point where we hear something dripping. Even though it's black and white, you can tell this is supposed to be blood dripping from
Mhm.
probably the body upstairs. It gets on her. She's upset. The blood they used chocolate syrup in this movie, which is a
Mm.
great solution for a movie where you don't need something red, right?
Yeah, but
However,
they also used like real guts, like pig guts and shit for the
yeah,
zombie food later. That's pretty wild, man.
which
And
is
some of it was like rotting and like nasty.
yes. So imagine we'll get there, but imagine like
Yeah.
rotting organs, sticky chocolate syrup, you're outside, it's hot, bugs, like
Yeah.
that. No.
That's
No,
like
no,
some
no.
Texas chainsaw shit, man.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking of. Long before that even happened, it
Yep.
was already
Yep.
happening.
Yeah, for sure.
So
For sure.
finally, Barb asks Ben what is happening. She finally speaks. And
Mhm.
before he can answer, he hears his car being bashed in by two of the men outside. Now, Ben is trying to ask Barb if she's seen more than two. Like, are there more than two out there? How many have you seen? She's hysterical. So
She's
Ben is already
crashing
like, all
out.
right. Oh,
she's,
she
she's
is.
she's having a full blown crash out.
She went from catatonic to crash out. And Ben is like, all right, fuck off, lady. Like, he takes a tire iron, he goes outside, he starts beating the shit out of these guys.
I know, it's awesome. I
It
love
is.
Ben.
Meanwhile, another one has gotten into the house and it's coming for Barbara. It actually is.
Yep.
Ben does make it back inside in time, gets him with the tire iron. Now we see here that some of these men do look a little more gaunt. They have slashes on their faces. They did show a practical effect on this one's head after, like a big gash in his head,
Mm-hmm.
which they had a very limited budget to do that.
Yeah.
Ben locks them inside the house and tells Barbara that they're going to stay in there now. We have to barricade ourselves in here because there are too many
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah, there's a lot outside. Barbara's looking rough, man. She's
Yeah.
looking really rough. She sees the zombie that Ben like killed on the ground and his eyes are like moving around, so clearly the zombie's
Yeah.
still alive. Ben drags it away and tells her like not to look at it. And then
Mhm.
he tosses the corpse outside and he lights it on fire, and this kind of scares the rest of the zombies away.
Yeah, they start going backwards. I mean, this body goes up like it's made of dry straw, which maybe it was for the effect. I don't know, but that body goes up in flames.
Doesn't he douse it with gasoline? I thought he doused it with gasoline.
Oh, you know what? He might use an accelerant. That would make
I
sense
think
too.
I think he might, but I almost felt like it was like not only to scare them, but like kind of like to give a statement. Because at this point, they don't really know what they are. They don't know if they're actually dead. They don't know anything.
Right.
So this could also be Ben like making a statement, like "Don't fucking come in the house, or else I'm gonna let you on fire."
Right. For
You know?
sure. And now Ben is rummaging through toolboxes and drawers. He's trying to find weapons. He's trying to find hammers and nails.
Oh, and they turn all the lights on. He's like, turn on all the lights. And he
Right.
tries to have like a come to Jesus with Barbara. You know, like
Yes.
he's basically saying, like, we need to work together. We have to board up the windows, we have to board up the doors, we have to do this together. But she is like, she's just she's just not doing anything. And he's like, just go find some fucking wood. Can you just like go find some wood? And then she does, right? But
Oh
she's
my.
also like
Does she?
walking around. What?
I said, does she? Because I swear she grabs like three little twigs.
That's what I was gonna say, dude. Dude, I was literally gonna say she walks around, she sees a music box, and then by the time she brings Ben they're literally like they look like popsicle sticks. Like, girl,
No.
what are you gonna do with those?
This is where I was like, Barb. But one thing I do love about this scene is Ben loses his patience for a second, just a split second, and then he composes himself. And
That I feel like that's us. I feel like you and I are the same way.
I
We
wrote
like
that would 100% be me. That would be
yep.
us 100%. Like, he is already fed up with her shit. You're like,
Mhm.
you're not helping. You're being of no use to us. And then he catches himself and he gives her a little grace and is like, look, this is what we need to do. And when she comes, he takes a door off the
I
hinges.
was just gonna say he's got a door.
He's holding a door like this huge ass door, and then they show Barbara with these three little sticks. Like,
Like, what are you gonna
ah,
do with those, girl? Come on.
I would have fucking lost it. Like, girl.
No, like she's bugging out, man. But like that, I'm so glad you pointed it out because I when I rewatched it again, I couldn't stop laughing. I was like, he has a fucking door in his hand, and she's like, "Here, I brought you these popsicle sticks."
Yes, Ben, he has so many layers.
Mhm.
He's a badass. He is going to get shit done. He's a survivor. He also has patience, we see. He's trying to be patient with this stranger who's not helping him. He's intelligent, he's strategic, and you have to think about the significance of using a black male lead in
Mhm.
1968. This was smack
Yep.
dab in the middle of the civil rights movement. This movie was released 6 months after Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. Romero says that he did not cast Dwayne Jones to play Ben just because he was black, but because he gave the best audition, which is how it should be. And though Romero is also known for using like a socio-political concepts in his movies as well. So it's hard to not see how this was a sign of the times and what was actively going on in the world.
Yeah, for sure. And it's interesting too because I watched a couple of like documentaries on the film, and a couple of them were saying like the people involved in the film, so George Romero and his whole crew, like they felt like not mentioning Dwayne Jones's race was like them being progressive, whereas like he
Mhm.
was kind of like Like saw it more of like an overlay that the others didn't see, you
Dwayne
know?
Jones did.
Yeah, and I feel like it's kind of like them admitting that. It's sort of like kind of admitting how like good intentions can still miss deeper social realities, you know,
Oh
even if
yeah,
they're good intentioned with it, you know what I mean?
totally.
Mhm.
So Ben starts taking apart the kitchen table here. Meanwhile,
Yeah,
Barbara's
I
just
loved
standing there.
it.
Yeah, he's like,
He is so resourceful, and
he
this
is.
whole oh my gosh, this monologue, oh,
That was
it's
another
so
thing.
good. What?
That was another thing I actually wanted to mention was that Dwayne Jones ended up changing a lot of the dialogue, and Romero was cool with it. That he said, "This doesn't feel natural. I think I should say this instead." And really, it was Dwayne Jones that added so much more depth and layers to Ben and making him more intelligent. He was initially supposed to be a rugged, like trucker type, and once
Right.
Dwayne Jones got the role, it was more of a collaborative effort, it seems, to make Ben who he became, which was someone who's intelligent and just a badass.
Yeah, yeah, and even, Dwayne Jones has said that, like, once he did that monologue in front of everyone, that's when he really felt like he was part of, like, the family. Like, that's when he
Okay.
really felt and, like, everyone else, like, everybody just felt more connected to him because I don't know, this is just, like I'm just quoting what I saw in these documentaries, but I'm
Right.
assuming it's just seeing this other side of a human, you know, that raw realness of that monologue, like, you can feel it. Like, I can't imagine being in the room while he was giving it, you know?
Yeah. He's telling Barbara here in this monologue about how he noticed that things weren't right. And he talks about someone driving through a billboard, people were screaming, and then he noticed that these things were backing away from the fire. That's
Mhm.
initially what he's talking about, but yeah, he goes on for a while and it's a beautiful monologue.
Oh, it's good, and you learn so much about Ben, I feel like, and the type of person that he is and, you know, what he's feeling and what he's thinking, and, you know, he
Mhm.
talks about the rage he feels for what's happening, you know what I mean? And, like, yeah, it's just yeah, I just loved it, and I thought it was brilliant.
Same. He talks about how he was surrounded by like 60 of those things. He drove right through them and they didn't try to move or run. And then Barbara starts telling him her story. She is telling him like it's the most stereotypical woman
Hysterical?
telling a story of like it is the stereotype. She's telling every like unnecessary piece of dialogue, every little detail, and Ben looks so uninterested. He
I
gets up
know,
and
he's like,
starts
"Can you get to the point? Like, long story long."
she's like, "And then Johnny said this, and then I said," and even I was like, "Girl, like, what are you even trying to say?" But it's because she's hysterical and she's traumatized, right?
Mhm, mhm,
And
mhm.
he starts getting up and moving shit around again as she's talking. That's how you know that he's done. And
Yeah,
at one point, he's like,
you start going, "Whoa. Whoa,
"That's
that's wild."
crazy."
That's crazy. Oh, cool. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, getting up and starting to rip doors off of a wall, off the hinges. That's like the 1960s equivalent of that's crazy, bro. So at one point, he says, "You need to stay calm," which she wasn't worked up yet, but I think that's just how they like cut the scene. Because
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, she does start getting more and more upset. And she's like, "And then he grabbed me and he ripped at my clothes." And she's getting, I don't want to keep saying hysterical because I know that's like a thing that people always say about women when it's not true, but
But
she is
that's what
getting upset.
she's presenting at, like, she's playing, like, hysterical, you know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
Like, over the top, which, like, I don't know, I'd be pretty hysterical as well, but at the same time, not at this moment. No, I would have had the hysterics outside for a second, screamed at the top of my lungs, and then been like, "Okay, let's get down to business," you know?
Exactly. You would have been Ben.
Had been Ben. Well, maybe not, because Ben is just Ben, but, you know, I would
You're like,
try.
I could never be Ben."
I would strive, but I could
Yes.
never.
So then Barb realizes that Johnny could still be alive, which,
Mhm.
yeah, we don't know what happened to him. He hit his head, but that's it. So she tells Ben they have to go back and get him. And of course, Ben is like, "Look, your brother's dead. I'm sorry, but he's
Yeah.
dead."
Mhm.
She's very upset. She slaps him. He punches her, knocks her out. Look, I'm not condoning violence, but Barb, we're in the end of the world potentially. We need to get our shit together. Um, Also, you have to think about, once again, we already mentioned, but think about the time this was filmed in. And Ben
Mhm.
takes charge here. He takes charge throughout the movie. We're also going to see
Yeah.
him like giving orders to people
Yes.
who I can only imagine at the time how some people felt about that, right?
No, yeah, for sure. And like, listen, I have mixed feelings on him hitting her. I don't
Right.
personally, I love the character so much. I don't think he needed to hit her
Right.
personally. However, at the same time, like taking gender out of the equation, like I have a hard time when anyone is hysterical, especially under in a situation where like everyone needs to be calm in order to like get through it, let's just say, or like survive.
Yeah.
I would have fucking hit her too. I would have hit her and I would have probably chucked her out to the zombies.
Look, I'm sending you outside if you do that shit again. Taking gender
It's
out of it,
just,
if you hit someone, you expect to get hit back. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. I guess I'm just saying like his frustration is like trying to survive. Like this is not like, this is not some minor inconvenience. This is life or death. And
It is.
she's hysterical, so I wish that he didn't, I wish that they decided to not have him hit her, but at the
Yeah.
same time, you know, she drove me crazy too. So
Yeah. No, I totally see both sides to that. Once again, not condoning violence, but also Barb, like, you know? So
I also I didn't realize he knocked her out. I thought he slapped her and she passed out. And now that you're saying that, I'm like, oh yeah, maybe he did really knock her ass
he
out.
definitely punches her. He doesn't slap her, he punches her. So I assumed that she was knocked out because she is out after that.
Yeah.
Uh, that's all I'm gonna say. So
Mhm.
Barb is passed out on the couch now. Ben gets the radio working. They're calling it a sudden epidemic of murder.
Yep.
You got to think about this movie set the rules unintentionally, set the rules for the zombie genre. So
Oh yeah,
everything we're
big
going to
time.
see, the
Mhm.
headshot killing the zombie, a bite infecting someone, that did not exist before Night of the Living Dead. So I thought
Right.
it was so interesting to know what they were going to call it in the actual movie. Also, a movie where they never once say the word zombie. They're
No,
not
they're
called
ghouls.
zombies. They
Yeah,
eventually
they're
call them
ghouls.
ghouls. But right
Ghouls,
now they're
yeah.
calling them unidentified individuals, monsters, things like that. And a sudden
Yeah.
epidemic of murder is so funny to me.
No, it really is. It so is,
So I
yes.
have a little fun tidbit here because I wanted to look into this. What is the first zombie movie? And White Zombie 1932, starring Bela Lugosi, is considered the first zombie movie, or at least one of them.
Mhm.
And
Mhm,
in
mhm,
that movie, they refer to the creatures as the living dead. They also never say
mhm,
the word zombie.
mhm.
We're going to talk about, I don't know if this is going to be later in the episode or in the Patreon extended, but Romero, 10 years after Night of the Living Dead, he does Dawn of the Dead. And it was within that 10 years that critics and fans started using the word zombie for the ghouls. And Romero leaned into it. By Dawn of the Dead, he started putting zombie in the dialogue. I thought that was really interesting.
Oh, that is really interesting. I love Dawn of the Dead. It's one of my favorite, if it might be my favorite zombie movie next to Day of the Dead, but it always makes me cry. So like I have to be in a good space to watch it.
That makes sense. So we'll give you a little fun fact, listener. We are also covering another Romero
Mhm.
zombie movie in this loop. We didn't even talk about January of the Dead. We didn't even mention that yet. Maybe we'll mention that on socials, but this whole loop for January, we're going to call it January of the Dead because every movie we're covering has that in the title. We're doing a little
Yep.
zombie loop, y'all. And another one we are covering is Day of the Dead, one of Laura's favorites.
Yeah.
And now it makes
Okay.
sense why we wanted to skip Dawn of the Dead if it's a little
Yeah,
more
because
sad, you know?
it makes me cry. It makes me cry. I love
But
it. I love it with my whole heart, but it makes me cry.
yeah, I can totally see that. So Ben is now making a makeshift torch with a table leg, a cloth, and an accelerant of some sort. And
Such a
outside on the
badass.
porch, he
Such a
lights a
badass.
couch on fire, and
Mhm.
the men start to back away.
The best is I say, he continues boarding everything up. Barbara does nothing.
That's about it, sums it up. So the radio mentions victims looking like they've been torn apart. Ben
Yes,
finds a
that the murderers are eating the flesh off the victims.
yes.
And it's
The
like, well, I was just gonna say, like,
the
it's this really long, drawn out, like you see it registering on Barbara's face, like the
yes.
tension.
Yeah, and the radio broadcast and eventually the television broadcast, they're going on throughout the rest of the movie really. And we'll find out
Hmm.
little bits and pieces of what's going on. And so Ben finds a rifle in the closet here. He also found some shoes in the closet and he brought them to Barbara because he noticed she didn't have shoes on. He puts them on her feet while she's
Oh, that's
catatonic.
sweet. I
Or
think
maybe
that's
she's
really
just
sweet.
that is really sweet. I wrote while she's catatonic or maybe just pissed off because she got punched.
I'd say a little bit of both.
Yeah. But that was sweet. You know, he's trying to take care of her. Now he feels bad. Not that whatever. We're not going to get into the punching again. We already said how we feel about that. Ben tells her, I don't know if you're hearing me, but I'm going to go upstairs now. And he basically tells her, you're going to be all right. If anything happens, I'll hear it. I'll come back down.
Mhm.
So Ben goes upstairs. He walks around that body that was up there and drags her away with the rug that she's lying on, covering up the face strategically so we don't have to see what the face actually looks like. We do get a very small glimpse of it as he's turning the corner. It doesn't look skeletal because obviously they didn't do that prosthetic then, but I'll forgive him. I'll forgive him for that. So the radio is saying in all cases, the killers are eating the flesh of the people they murder. Barb
Yeah.
sees a door start to open in the house. We see a hand come around the corner. She starts freaking out. It's two men, actual men that are alive, coming up from the cellar. So we meet Harry, aka Mr. Cooper, they call him both, and Tom.
Yes, and Harry, Mr. Cooper, is also, I want to say, one of the producers. Yes, he did makeup, he did sound, and he was a producer.
He did makeup too.
Yes, the actor's name is Carl Hardman.
He did such a great job being such a little shit. I
Oh,
hated him
he's
so
so
much.
easy. He's so easy to fucking hate, man. He's so easy to hate. He's such a prick.
He's slimy throughout this movie.
Mhm.
So they were
Mhm.
there the whole time. They were in the cellar. Harry thinks that the cellar is the safest place to be. His wife and kid is downstairs or are downstairs. His child is hurt.
Yeah, that's Karen, and Helen is his wife, and Tom is another guy that's like he Tom and his girlfriend found the house first. And
Right.
we're going to meet his girlfriend here in a few minutes, but Tom
Yes.
was there first, and then Harry, Helen, and Karen came, and I believe Tom's girlfriend's name is Judy.
Yeah, Judy. So
Mhm.
Tom is on Ben's side. Ben is saying you shouldn't stay down in the cellar. We need to be up here so that we can hear if help comes for a bunch of other reasons.
And
And
if they get cornered, there's actually somewhere to go. If they get cornered in the basement, like they're fucked.
right, Ben says in the basement in the cellar it's a death trap. So
Mhm.
Mr. Cooper is saying you better decide if you're going to come down with us or not because I'm going down there and I'm boarding up the door. Like that
Don't
feels
you love that
so.
he tries to like take the role he tries to take the role of the leader here and it's like, "Harry, sit the fuck down,
And
okay?"
Ben's like, I don't think you understand the hierarchy here.
Yeah, like I'm in charge, okay, Harry? All right? So go down to your fucking cellar. I decide if you can come and stay up here, okay?
Yeah, there's a lot of arguing that goes on here
Thanks,
and
Ben.
throughout. Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, some of the creatures, the ghouls, which they will eventually call them, start reaching through one of the windows that Ben has boarded up and starts grabbing Ben. Tom starts chopping away at their hands, and one of them gets all their fingers chopped off. Like you can just see them being hacked off and is still moving, like
Oh.
the hand.
Oh, yes. Is this the one that kinda looks like paper mache?
Oh, it might be. That would make sense based on what it looked like.
Yeah, there's one where, George Romero was talking about how he thinks it looks like absolute shit.
I wonder if that was the one. I mean, when I was watching it, I wasn't thinking that. I was grossed out at the concept of someone getting their fingers hacked off
Same,
like
yeah, it
that.
reminded me of, like, The Burning.
Ugh.
Mhm.
So Ben shoots one of them in the chest out the window, and of course, it keeps coming. He shoots it a couple times, and then finally in the head, and it's dead. So here we have headshot kills it. Okay.
Mhm.
Now the house is surrounded. There's even a naked zombie, which I was a little surprised by. Tits out.
Oh, yeah, she was just fully nude, man, just walking.
Yeah. I didn't
Mhm.
expect that in this movie for this time.
Right.
One is eating a bug off the tree, which I found interesting because once again, this movie was creating a lot of the zombie lore and the rules, the blueprint of zombie movies to come. And I'm trying to think off the top of my head without researching it because I forgot to research it. If any other zombie movies have implemented that where they eat insects, I don't know if they do.
Mm, I can't think of anything except for, like, maybe, like, the undead that come out of the ground, like, that look like zombies, but they're not. Like, what was that one movie that we covered with the girl and she falls in love with the zombie? Like, I could see him eating, like,
Oh,
slugs.
Lisa Frankenstein.
Yeah, like, I could see him eating slugs. I don't know why. I don't know if
I
he
wonder if
does,
he
but
did. Well,
I don't know.
anyway,
I feel like I've definitely seen, like, undead characters eating bugs. I feel
yeah,
like that's not
or
totally.
I'm thinking of a movie where zombies try to eat animals instead and they can't. They think it tastes disgusting. Or maybe it was vampires.
Oh,
Honestly, I get it all
vampires.
mixed
I
up.
feel like it's vampires, but I feel like that would be so funny.
Yeah. Well, either way, I was just curious because maybe that just that little part of the movie didn't catch on in future zombie lore, you know?
Right.
So Ben tells Mr. Cooper he's not taking the food and the radio downstairs. And they
Hmm.
start arguing. Like Harry, aka Mr. Cooper, is like, "What do you mean? We need food. My daughter's sick. I have a kid down there." And Ben basically tells him, "I'm so sorry that her dad is so stupid. Like, if you're staying in the cellar, you're dumb," is basically what he's saying.
Right.
And now Tom wants to stay upstairs. So his girlfriend, Judy, comes upstairs to stay with him too.
Well, yeah, because
Down,
Ben, one thing I love about Ben is like he will help you. Like Ben
yeah,
will not say no, he will help you, but he also is not going to put up with stupidity and he's not going to put up with, somebody taking charge when they are completely fucking inept,
yeah,
you know?
for
Yeah,
sure. So downstairs, we see Harry's young daughter, Karen, on a table. It looks like she's sleeping. She's not feeling well. And her
right.
mother, Helen, is tending to her. When
Mhm.
Helen finds out that there's a radio upstairs, she is pissed that Harry locked them downstairs.
Oh
She wants
yeah.
him to unboard the door. Helen says if Judy can come downstairs with Karen, then her and Harry can go upstairs for a minute. Because obviously someone wants to stay with the daughter and they don't want to keep dragging her around because she doesn't feel well, which I get.
Yeah, she's sick. And I feel like this whole exchange between Harry and his wife Helen was interesting because I feel like she has to put up with so much with this guy and like he's not good at taking charge, but he thinks he is. And imagine having to deal with that.
Yeah, like you think, especially at this time, you're the head of the
Yeah.
household. You got to be in charge when really he's not a leader.
Yeah.
And Helen says something here about we may not like living together, but so there's already, you can tell there's tension in their relationship.
Hmm.
So Ben finds a television set upstairs and he and Tom go up to try to get it working. Helen is sitting in the room with Barbara, who's just locked in on this doily on the couch. Like, I don't even know how to describe what a doily is if you don't know what it looks like. You got to look it up. It's
Yeah.
like a lace.
It's like a
She's
little
looking
lace
at it.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you would put it on the arm of a chair, like my grandma would, to protect the arm of the chair from getting a bunch of like dirt and grease on it from people's hands. And she's
Yeah.
on it like she's reading Braille, is what it looks like.
Yeah. She's like disassociating big time here.
Huge, yes.
Yeah.
So she finally notices Helen and she looks scared. Mr. Cooper, I wrote, Mr. Cooper got his pants pulled up to his tits. Like the
They're
belt is
so
right.
high.
Right.
Dude.
That was very, very of the time as well. Ben ends up yelling at him because I keep going back and forth between Harry and Mr. Cooper, but same
Yeah.
person. Harry's trying to bark orders, and Ben says, "If you're up here, you're taking orders from me." Iconic.
Oh, it's the best. He also at one point is just like, "Yo, if you want to eat food, well, you can stay up here because you're not taking any of it into the cellar." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yes, Ben."
They do get the TV working, and they learn that the people who have recently died are coming back to life and seeking human victims, is what they say.
Yeah,
Also, there
yikes.
are rescue centers set up nearby with shelter, food, medical supplies, and they're advising everyone to get to one of these centers ASAP. They're like, okay, before we said lock yourselves in the house, now we're saying come here, which is also kind of crazy to tell people to go out and venture when when these creatures are all around. But
Yeah,
the
it's giving me
stations,
like well, it's like early. It's almost like remember like early pandemic, like when nobody really knew what was going on, so you're just getting like information
yeah,
randomly,
like
like do this, don't do this, because they didn't really know what was happening yet, right?
so much contradicting information for sure. So the stations are
Yeah.
scrolling across the bottom of the screen by city like the school closings used to. Did you guys get that in Canada? Where you would
Mm-hmm.
wait to see if your school closed and it would be like it would say the town and it would just be scrolling and you're just waiting, waiting, waiting to see your city. Kids today
Yeah,
don't
we
know
did
that.
CP24 was what we used, and they still
Okay.
have CP24 in Toronto. But yeah,
I feel I feel sad for kids that don't get that now. They can just like go on their phone and Google it or go on whatever and just know right away that school's closed. You don't have to wait and
yeah,
feel that joy when you finally see your school district is closed when it finally
I,
scrolls.
I know it is such a good feeling.
The serotonin and the when you get to go back to sleep, oh my gosh, best feeling. So
Best.
the news here is also talking about the explosion of the Venus space probe. So basically, this satellite was returning to Earth. NASA discovered it had high levels of unknown radiation, so they destroyed it, which sent all the radiation back down to Earth, and they're speculating that this could be the cause of the dead reanimating.
There's a reporter and he runs into the street to speak to what looks like someone from the military and then a couple of scientists or doctors, and he's asking, like, basically like, oh, do you think this came from outer space? Is this the Venus gimmick, radiation gimmick? And like the scientists and the scientists are being like, oh yeah, no, it definitely is. And the military guy's like, well, we're not quite sure what it is yet.
Yeah.
And I just thought
Uh,
that whole interaction was pretty funny.
yeah, like some people want to give information, others are like, no, no, no. Basically, we're working on it, but they do confirm there's a
Yeah.
connection there. So
Yeah.
there's an interview on the Dick Cavett show, which I will link in the show notes. It features George Romero, Stephen King, Peter Straub, and Ira Levin, who wrote Rosemary's Baby, if you didn't know.
Mm.
And Romero was talking about his childhood fears in this interview and how a big one for him was war scares at the time and watching those things unfold on television and how terrifying that was. So we can see that implemented here. He also talks about that's probably why he adds that socio-political underbelly is what he calls it to his zombie films. So in many of these scenes where you see reporters, journalists, those were real news reporters and journalists filling those roles. Like I mentioned earlier, they didn't
Yeah,
really have the
dude.
budget to hire
So
all these
cool.
extras, so they used real people, real locals.
Yep. So
So they
cool.
notice a rescue center for Willard on the screen and they know that Willard is sort of close. So Helen definitely wants to go to this rescue center to get medical supplies for Karen. Ben asks how badly Karen was hurt, and Helen kind of stammers, but she doesn't answer. Dun dun dun.
So a doctor on the news is also talking about a cadaver with no limbs that like came alive and his eyes were like moving around and he like attempted to move. And then he goes on to say, you just got to soak them in gasoline and burn them. Okay. No
Yeah.
funerals, just burn them. Like, yikes.
Just a tad bit scary, that's all. So
Yeah.
Ben says to Helen, you should go downstairs with your daughter and send Judy back up. Now we can
Hmm.
see Karen, we're back in the cellar here. Karen, the daughter, has a bandage on her arm. And she tells her mom when she gets down there, I hurt, which is just so sad.
Yeah, it really is.
Ben wants everyone to go look for things to make a Molotov cocktail to distract, well, actually, several Molotov cocktails to distract the creatures so they can go get some things. Sorry, not things. So they can go get some gas for the truck. There's a gas pump on this land.
Yeah, like on the property. And you know, one thing I
Hmm.
love about Ben too is he's straight up like, I'm not so great with trucks. And Tom's like, okay, I'll do it. Like, that's a leader, like somebody that can admit, like, yo, I'm not actually good at this, but is anyone in the group good at you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I
Right.
really like that.
Yeah, because Harry 100% would have just been like, oh, I can do it. And his wife would have been like, you've never done this before, sweetie. And he's like, oh, shut up. You know what I mean? Like, I could see that
Yeah,
happening.
exactly. In my notes, I said they've got a plan and he's talking so fast that I have no idea what he's saying, but I'm sure I'll see it in a minute.
Yep, we're going to see it unfold. So Ben and Tom are going out to do this. Mr. Cooper, Harry, has to go upstairs, toss these cocktails out the window, then run back down to board that door up again.
He looks constipated this entire movie.
He really does. And here's my thing, I don't understand why Judy couldn't do one of those things. Why does Harry have to toss the cocktails upstairs, then come back down to board up the door? Judy's not doing anything. So why can't she toss the
Cause
cocktails or start
because
boarding
she's
up
a
the door?
woman. How could she ever? She's just a girl. Yeah, I don't
That
get it
really
either. I don't know.
frustrated me. So Judy's upset that
Yeah.
Tom has to go out, but he's the only one who knows how to drive this truck. Can you drive a
Oh,
stick?
but it's so cute. Don't you think it's cute? Like they're obviously like super in love. Like they love each other. I
It
think
is
it's
cute.
really sweet. It brought my cold dead heart to life a little bit.
It is cute. Like I understand why she's worried about him. I don't understand her actions after,
Yeah.
but we'll get to that. Can you drive a
Hmm.
stick, Laura?
No, not at all.
Really? I haven't
Can
driven one
you?
in so long. I actually
I
learned how to
want
drive
to.
on a stick because
Oh, I
one of
want
my
to.
close friends in high school, that's the truck that she had was a stick. So she taught me how to drive one. I haven't driven one in so long. I'd probably stall out a lot, but I think I could get us out of a zombie apocalypse, just so you know.
Oh my god, that's amazing. I would love to learn if you could teach me.
Hell yeah. We just have to
Mhm.
find a car that's manual. I don't have one.
Me neither.
So even worse, Ben and Tom are unboarding the door that they're gonna run through, and Judy's
Yeah.
just watching them. They show her like peer through the door, like
Just staring.
Can you please do something? Can you do one of these things, please?
Anything, girl, anything.
So Harry starts tossing the cocktails upstairs, the Molotov cocktails through the window. The creatures are backing up, some are catching on fire. Tom gets in the truck, he gets it started. At the last second, Judy, for some fucking reason, goes, I want to go with them, and runs outside.
Yeah.
Harry does try to tell her, go back in the cellar, but she runs out, and Harry's like, well, I gotta lock this door, which I also do understand. She's outside now. She made her choice.
But she fucked everything up. She literally fucks everything up.
It's all her fault. What we're about to
I
get to is
know.
all her fault.
Dude, I'm like, okay, anyway.
We had a plan and you fucked it up.
You
So
fucked it up, girl.
so Harry does lock the door. Ben is able to shoot some of the zombies to keeps some of the others away with his makeshift torch. Judy gets in the truck. Tom starts driving. So Ben is in the back of the truck. He's in the bed warding off these zombies with the torch, which I imagine if Judy didn't get in the truck, he would have gotten into the passenger seat, right?
Yes.
So already he's in more
100%.
danger. He's in more
I
danger
think
because she
so. Would he be or was it his plan all along to like
yeah,
use the
not
fire
sure.
thing? Yeah.
Not
Okay.
sure. But either way, they get to this gas pump. Luckily, the zombies are very slow here. They're not really running. The key
Yeah.
to the gas pump isn't working, so Ben just shoots it, which sounds very dangerous.
Hmm.
They go to fill up the tank, and the gas goes over the torch, which is lit, lighting the truck on fire.
Dude.
Tom is saying we have to get away from the pump, which is true. There's fire. You got to get away from that gas pump. It's probably going to explode, but the truck is also on fire. So Tom and Judy stop the truck after they get away from the gas pump. Ben is still standing by the gas pump. Tom says, we got to get out of here. He goes to get out of the truck. Fucking Judy, man. She goes, my jacket's caught on something. Why are you even here, Judy?
Judy,
And
why oh my god. It
and
makes and
so
Ben is like standing there. Ben watches them blow up, dude. In front of them. They blow his face is so real. Like just that look of like shock, like sadness, disappointment,
yeah,
like you're just like, fuck me. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Tom tries to help Judy and then boom. So like it'd be one thing if Judy was like, no, I want to go with them for more manpower. I'm gonna grab this weapon. I'm gonna help them ward off zombies. I'm gonna
Yeah.
help. But she just wanted to go in a panic. That's why you can't
Yeah.
fucking make decisions when you're panicking. You have to have
No,
someone who is cool, calm, collected that can direct traffic,
100%.
Because this is
Always.
what
Yes.
happens. You panic,
Hmm.
you blow up.
Hmm.
Judy wanted to be a passenger princess so bad, and look what happened.
You should have just stayed inside, Judy. You should have just stayed inside.
So now Ben has to keep these creatures back with his torch, just enough so he can get away because now they're swarming him.
The
He
way
gets
that
to,
he keeps them back, I
yeah,
was like, wow, dude. Like it's so dramatic because at
yeah,
any point he could get grabbed.
yeah. So he gets to the door. Harry won't let him in.
Fucking
I
dick.
I don't okay. Ben kicks the door in. I'm just going to say what happens because Ben does exactly what I feel like I would do in this situation. He kicks the door in. Cooper is just watching around the corner. Ben boards up the door, okay? He boards up the door first. Common sense. Harry does eventually come to help. He's hesitant, but he does eventually come to help. As soon as they're done, Ben starts beating the shit out of Harry. Like the
It's
punches are like
awesome.
psh psh psh.
Oh, he's fucking him up. Like he's fucking him up and straight up Harry is such a pussy. Like he's such a little like shit.
I wrote that in my notes later that when something else happens, I'm like, he is such a pussy.
It's
So Ben,
so gross to me. Like it's such a turn off, but also can we talk about how amazing the music is during the scene? Oh,
oh yeah,
love it.
yeah, phenomenal. Ben threatens to drag Harry out there and feed him to those things, which we mentioned earlier
Should
we would
have.
do to Barbara.
Hmm.
So we get the first shot of the creatures eating bodies here as they ambush the
Dude,
charred remains of Tom and Judy.
dude, they are feasting on Tom and Judy. This is where they're using real intestines from like
Ooh,
the butcher shop and the like pig intestines and they're very stinky. Some of them are very rotting.
if you watch this scene back and just know that these are real animal organs that they are eating, the people, the extras, the locals, they are biting into like a cold cow liver
Nope.
or whatever.
Nope.
It's
We're good.
disgusting. And think about it,
No.
low budget movie, they're reusing the same organs from this local butcher shop or wherever for multiple takes for multiple days. They're starting to rot. Like, disgusting. Ben
You would
sees
get
this and you
so
can
sick.
tell he's going to be sick. Like, he has to sit down, which is probably from whatever the set actually smelled like if that was close to
For
him, right?
real. Yes, yes, for real, for real. Yep.
So Helen comes upstairs here and she's asking if it's 3 o'clock yet. I don't know. I'm guessing that's like 3 a.m. because another
Yeah.
broadcast should be starting. Barbara starts
Yes.
muttering some nonsense. She's kind of losing it here.
She's losing it. Ben looks exhausted, dude. Like
Yeah.
he just looks like
He,
defeated.
he's doing most of
Defeated.
the work and
Yeah,
mentally as
exactly.
well.
Yeah.
Like, how physically and emotionally and mentally draining.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. So we're going to cut to a news report here. Okay. And this is great. I love this. It's actually my favorite scene. The reporter is interviewing Chief McClellan and he's talking about like killing a bunch of those zombies the night before. And the journalist asks him, he says, are they slow moving? And he looks at him and goes, yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up. It always kills me. And the best part is it is improvised. That is an
Oh,
improvised line. A lot of the lines, a lot of things were,
yeah.
especially anything with the reporters.
Yes. Okay, was McClelland the one wearing like the fedora and the giant bullet belt on his shoulder?
That's him.
Okay,
Yes,
I don't know if it was
exactly.
actually I don't know if it's actually a fedora or not, but that's just what I thought it was. I wrote, "Why is he wearing a fedora and a giant bullet belt? Like the biggest bullets I've ever seen in my life." I don't know a lot about guns, but these bullets look like they would have gone in a torpedo. Like, what is he wearing?
I mean, that is like the best thing I've ever heard. But yeah, he's definitely wearing like an over the top sort of outfit for chief
It's a very strange combination.
or
I
sheriff or
also want
whatever
to
the fuck he
mention,
is.
while they're watching
Yeah.
this broadcast, Helen and Harry, they mentioned that the ghouls flipped their car over. And Ben wants to know if they think that if they reached it, they could flip it back. And Barbara keeps muttering nonsense. She just keeps saying, "You won't be able to start it. Johnny has the keys." And they're kind of ignoring her because she's just out of it.
Yeah.
And Helen is telling
Yeah.
Ben that one of the things grabbed their daughter Karen and bit her on the arm. Okay? Keep that in mind. They
Oh,
they start
okay. So
arguing about the
so she's in
car.
the basement.
Yes,
Yeah.
Karen is in the basement. And Ben and Harry are arguing about the car. Harry says it's too far away. Barb just keeps saying, "Johnny has the keys." She's talking about her own car. And then Ben finally realizes what Barb is saying. And he's like, "Oh, you have a car. We can go find your car at the cemetery."
Ah, okay, right. And also, can I also say too, when it comes to that like whole situation with the reporter and the chief and stuff? So the reporter, the field reporter, is played by Bill Cardell, who, couple of fun facts. One was the host of Chiller Theater. He's also the father of Laurie Cardell, who plays Dr. Sarah in Day of the Dead. So I thought that was a fun
Oh,
fact.
yeah.
Yeah,
So we get to talk about that soon.
sure, exactly.
So now the power in the house goes out.
Yikes!
Ben
Yikes!
goes to the
Yikes!
cellar to see if there's a fuse box down there, and Harry tells Helen, "I have to get that gun." Helen
Hmm.
is so annoyed with him, as are we. Okay. And outside, we see a ghoul grab the table leg that Ben put out there earlier with the torch, and he starts banging on the door with it. Now, a bunch
Dude,
of the
that's
ghouls.
crazy. But isn't
Oh,
that crazy how they have agency?
right, exactly. And now
Yeah.
a bunch of ghouls are banging on the house. They're using bricks. They know that people are in there, so they're just nonstop coming for the house.
Mhm.
Harry is
Yep.
just staring at Ben. Okay. Ben is now using his rifle that he found to try to like hold the boards up on the window as the zombies are trying, or ghouls are trying to push them through or push the
Mhm.
boards off the window.
Oh yeah, because
Harry
all the
is
hands are like coming through the opening and Harry's just staring at him and Ben is like, "Can you fucking do something?"
Harry is just staring. I was so mad. Even Helen is now trying to hold boards and Harry is just watching. Now Ben drops the gun and Harry runs to grab it. And he's like, "Yeah, yeah, you want to stay up here now?" This is where I wrote, he is such a fucking pussy.
Yep.
I hate him. Like, he's so sniveling and slimy. Like, the ghouls are trying to break in and you're worried about this gun so you can be the leader. And now you're like,
Sucks.
"Yeah, what now?" Because you feel like you have the upper hand. I wanted to kill him.
Me too. Me too. I hate him.
So Ben takes a board and knocks the gun out of Harry's hands. Exactly, Harry, because you're a little fucking asshole and you don't even know what you're doing.
Yep.
They start fighting. Ben does get it back and shoots Harry in the stomach, which I was surprised by. I was like, oh shit.
Dude, I've seen this movie a million times and I'm always surprised when he shoots Harry.
Yes, like you forget about certain aspects. There's another thing we're going to get to in a minute where I was very surprised by, even though I've seen this movie before.
Hmm.
So Harry stumbles downstairs into the cellar.
Oh
The
my God,
ghouls
the
are
way he
breaking.
stumbles down too, it's like so dramatic.
It really is. Like, what? You just got shot in the stomach or something?
Like,
Relax. Like, you're
get
so
over it.
annoying.
Okay, so meanwhile, Helen runs to the basement and finds Karen eating daddy.
Ew. Not,
Hel-
not daddy.
Helen, Helen cries and says, "Poor baby," as Karen comes towards her with one of those, like, is it called a spade? Like the spade shovel?
It's a garden trowel for sure, but I don't know if it's also called a spade. A spade, I think of the big shovel that looks like a
Oh,
spade,
well,
but it
she
could
is
be.
coming at her mom like no problems with this spade, just
She
ready
was
to take her out.
she was eating Harry's arm and she has like dark circles under her eyes, Helen, the child. And yeah,
Yeah.
she starts coming for Helen with that trowel. This scene is bizarre.
It's
So
traumatizing and weird because one, the music is insane, but two, yeah, she's gonna end up eating her mom, but like she's killing her with a spade. She's not just coming at her and biting her.
she stabs her over and over and over in like the stomach, and we're just
Brutal.
seeing a shot of Helen screaming. There's no it's just like her stabbing her in silence, except the
Yeah.
voice is echoed. There's like a weird echo going on. It's just Helen screaming like this, and you just see Karen stabbing, stabbing, stabbing. It's very psycho. It reminds me of.
Yeah. For sure.
It's so weird with the echoing. It's very jarring.
Yeah.
This scene is one of the reasons that this movie ended up being banned in some countries because a child, first of all, cannibalism, right? And then a child
Mhm.
murderer was very upsetting to a lot of people in the 60s.
For sure. Yeah.
Now, on the main floor, Ben and Barbara are fighting to keep the boards on the window. The boards fall, and the
Yikes.
ghoul that comes face to face with Barbara is Johnny. It took me a second to actually
Yikes.
recognize him because I think he didn't have his glasses on, and I was
Same.
confused for a second
Me too, me
until
too.
he reached through and went to grab her with his like driving gloves that he wore earlier in the cemetery. And I was like, oh, that's
Dude,
Johnny. Okay.
the way that she gets taken out here is so heartbreaking because like she
Yes.
just wanted to find him so bad and then he found her and ate her. Like,
Yeah, she found him and not in the way she wanted to. He grabs her and drags her outside, and then she gets swarmed by the ghouls, so she's definitely dead. I
mhm.
thought that she was our final girl, even though she really wasn't being a final girl throughout the movie. You know, for the 60s, I thought she was our final girl. So I remember first seeing this and being so surprised by that. And even the rewatch, I was like, oh, yeah, she dies. Shit, I forgot.
Yeah, I feel like it makes me every time I watch this movie, I always like right at the end, I'm just filled with so much sadness because I hate what happens to Ben. I wanted him to be our final boy.
He is in a way, he is our final boy,
Yeah,
but we'll get there,
it
we'll get there. Because
sucks.
I had thoughts
Yeah,
leading into the scene where there was a moment where I just knew in my soul, this is
yeah,
I know how it's gonna go.
yeah, yeah.
So Karen comes upstairs now, she almost gets Ben, this is the daughter, almost gets Ben, but she doesn't. Now all the ghouls are breaking into the house. Ben is able to
Yeah,
lock
man.
himself in the cellar, which he
Yeah,
did say
because
at one
Harry
point.
wakes up too. Remember when he goes into the cellar, Harry wakes
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, he goes into the cellar, he's the only one left now. Harry starts to reanimate, then Helen's not Helen, yes, Helen.
Yeah,
Helen's eyes start to
Helen.
move.
Yeah, he
Uh,
immediately shoots her in the head. He's like, "Nope."
yep, he gets rid of both of them.
Yeah.
Remember earlier, he said the cellar would be a death trap. He didn't
Yep.
want to go down there, but now he's forced. And the ghouls are all over the house. We just see them roaming, and then all of a sudden, it's morning.
Next morning, we hear birds chirping. It's pretty quiet. Everything seems pretty normal. We see a helicopter, a bunch of men walking across the field with like guns and weapons. We see cops with police dogs, and Chief McClellan is there, of course. They're working to take out ghouls basically everywhere. Then all
Yep.
of a sudden, the police dogs start barking and running towards our farmhouse. And the music is so tense.
I just got
And
chills.
dude, Ben hears like the barking. Can you
Mhm.
imagine like thinking to yourself like, "Oh my god, I might be getting saved. I don't know, but I might be getting saved."
when they're showing them go toward the farmhouse, I just knew in my soul, I was like, "This is gonna piss me off, isn't it?"
Yeah,
Eh,
dude.
so Ben goes to look through the window to see who's coming, and this militia sees him from a distance. They are far away, and one of the
Mhm.
guys, I think McClelland, says he says something about, "There you go, right between the eyes," and the other guy shoots Ben right through the eyes, killing him.
Dude, man.
Some people
And it's
speculate he doesn't get shot in the head and it's, like, more of the shoulder. I don't know. Maybe
mm,
they're talking about one of the remakes, I'm not sure.
I think he was pretty dead. And it's just the build up to it. Like they show them walking towards the house past the burnt truck. Like Ben hears the sirens. He slowly makes his way up to the cellar stairs. Like you hear people shouting about the ghouls and shooting them. And, we see barricades coming down from, Ben taking the barricades down and he's kind of staggering. And it's all just very drawn out tension that it's like, is Ben going to be saved? Are these people going to save him? Or is this going to end badly for him? And they just do such a good job of like just really drawing it out and then just discarding him. Like
Yeah,
the
after
one
he
guy says,
survived.
"Okay, he's dead. Another one for the fire." Like there's no humanity. The humanity
Yeah.
is fucking gone.
After he survived all that, and this was one of the reasons that a lot of people found this movie very upsetting in the end too, and were not happy with this ending because being in the middle of the civil rights movement and seeing a group of white men shoot this black man, and then they're using these meat hooks to drag him into the fire. It's very upsetting scenery. And
Mhm.
they show that whole part where they find his body and drag him and they show the meat hooks. They don't show that in video. It's all still images.
Yeah.
Until they get to the fire burning, which I thought was very interesting. And some people do theorize that that was to make it seem more real and more like a documentary versus a movie. But especially with the state of the world at that time, it was very upsetting to see. And even
Yeah.
outside of that specific, the 60s, it's still upsetting to see. And even taking race out of it, it's so upsetting that he survived all of that and then gets killed and they didn't even check to see if he was a ghoul, which you could also argue spoke to the times as well. They saw a black man, they just shot him. They didn't even check to see is he a zombie or not, right?
Yeah, no, for definitely sure. And just the fact that, he was the hero. He was the hero and he didn't survive.
Mhm.
And I think that bleak ending, as much as I hate it, like I don't know. I think horror has a way of like you're saying, it's a reflection of the times, right? And I think that some horror movies there should be discomfort. You know what I mean? And I think like not having a happy ending in this was hugely influential, right? Like
Mhm.
there's no happy ending at the end of this movie. It's just bleak and sad and society is a fucking mess and it's just it's I think it lended it's like how am I trying to say this, AK? I'm trying to say that like it's important that this movie is bleak. You know what I
It needed
mean?
to end that way. It was important to the
It,
time for it to end that way.
yes, it needed to end that way is exactly what I'm trying to say and I don't know why it's taking so long for it to get out, but
No, you got it.
it's because not every horror movie should have a happy ending and I feel like the
Sure.
themes in this movie, you know, yeah, like I think if it was a happy ending, it wouldn't have been as impactful at all.
It wouldn't have been as heavy for sure, but I was still
No, and
so
it still
pissed.
sucks. It still makes me
Yeah.
sad though. Like I hate it. I'm like,
Yes.
no.
Yeah. I really wanna watch the remakes. I haven't watched any of the remakes, have you? I think there's 2 of them.
I don't think I've ever seen remakes. I've only seen the Dawn of the Dead remakes.
So in one of the remakes, the 1990 remake, Tony Todd is Ben, and Tom Savini directs that one. I wanna see it so bad. I've never seen it.
Yeah, I would love to watch it too. And Tony Todd and Tom Savini. Yeah, love it. Probably really good. I'm sure it's good.
Oh, yeah, it has to be. I wanna watch it. You know what? Maybe after this. I thought watching so many zombie movies in one loop was gonna burn me out from zombie movies, but I think we made
Mhm.
really good choices on how to kind of I don't want to say switch it up, but make them different. So we're covering a classic, we're covering um a new take or new-ish
Yeah.
take. We're covering a
Yeah.
comedy. So I think it's a good combination of what kind of zombie movies we're covering.
No, I think so too. And one of the things I love I mean, we talk about this all the time. We love a good low budget movie. I love when, creators are like, I just want to make this and I'm going to find a way to do it. And that's definitely Night of the Living Dead, right? Like, one of the interviews that I watched with them, there was a really great documentary that I'll put in the show notes. But they talk about how one of the reasons they were able to be successful is because they all had so much experience in different areas when it came to film, right?
Mhm.
Like George Romero, like he knew how to use the cameras. He had done so much in film school and had done so many things already that he already knew how to do stuff, and they had access to a lot of equipment. So a lot of those things that would require a lot of money and skill, they already kind of had, and so they were able to like kind of bring this to life, right?
Yeah.
Uh and apparently the OG title was Monster Flick. So,
Monster flick. Okay, I also saw that there was an original title, maybe just one of them that they kind of were running through, that was Night of the Flesh Eaters. Where is my note on that?
hmm.
Because
Okay,
this
I
had
could
to
see
do
that.
with it's why it fell into the public domain. So basically, the reason this fell into the public domain, it was by
Mm,
accident. The
hmm.
distributor changed the original title, which was Night of the Flesh Eaters, to Night of the Living Dead, but forgot to include a copyright notice. So it
Yikes.
fell into public domain like right away. So Romero has said he's never made a dime off this movie, which I don't know
Crazy.
how far that goes or how true it ends up being, but they were financially affected because of that. So anyone could watch it, they could screen it, they didn't have to pay, and there was no repercussions for that. And that is why you see that movie be playing in so many horror movies or just movies in general today because it's been public domain for so long.
I think that's so funny that it's been in so many movies. It's been in so many movies that we've covered.
We talked about this in another movie where I wanted to know how many movies are playing Night of the Living Dead in the background,
Yeah.
and I wasn't able to get an exact number, but one day I'm going to start compiling a list.
I think you should because I actually really want to know.
That's my type of like random rabbit hole I want to go down. So maybe I will do that.
I love this movie so much and I'm so glad that we covered it. I was intimidated to cover it because it's just such a beast of a movie. It's so influential and there's so much going through it and so many like facts about it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I was excited, but I was like I was a little low key nervous to cover it.
Oh, me too. I'm always nervous to cover big movies. This is huge. So we hope you enjoyed this episode, our first remote episode. I hope it sounds okay. We're trying our best, y'all. You're doing great, sweetie. That's what you all need to say to us in the comments, please. Please,
Yes,
we need your
please.
validation. But you
Give
can
us
follow us
validation.
on Instagram and TikTok at Chainsaw Girls Pod. If you're watching this on YouTube, you already know our YouTube. But if you're not, we do have a YouTube where you can see our fun background. Mine's not so fun today at Chainsaw Girls Pod. We also have a Gmail, chainsawgirlspod@gmail.com. And we also have a Patreon where we shout out our top tier patrons each month. Laura, take it away.
Here we go. Jason M, Jeremy M, Brian C, John M, Devin C, Jolene, David G, John M, Jonathan W, Rob B, David T, Heather D, Franchise Driller, aka Ryan, Millie C, Adrian G, Chris S, Alexis T, Adam BL, and James C. Thank you so much for being our top tier patrons. We appreciate you guys so, so much.
Okay,
Okay,
bye.
bye.